Hey folks, Gizmo here and welcome to this stream. It has been a little while since I streamed on YouTube and I decided that I would just stream a little bit of Expeditions. The game launches tomorrow or maybe the day after, I cannot remember. I bought the Year 1 edition, so I have had access to the game since Friday, and I just wanted to go over like my first impressions and explain what I think is good about the game, what I don't like about the game, because there's a few things in each of those categories, and yeah, I'm going to get into a few bits now, and then I'll show you some of the stuff that I mean as well when I finish this, because I'm playing as we speak. I'm not just just going through everything that I'm talking about as I'm talking about it. I'm just kind of playing, progressing through the game as I stream. So I have no clue what I was trying to say there, but we got through it at least. So basically, Expeditions, a Mudrunner game. It is a spin-off kind of thing. It's essentially, it plays like SnowRunner. Okay, so aside from some of the weird choices like changing all of the controls around, so things that, you know, buttons that you press to do certain things in SnowRunner that you're used to pressing to do specific things in SnowRunner, they do not do that anymore. Like if I click the right stick in, before if I held the right stick in, I could control my gears here, but that is now mapped to R1, and pressing the right stick in just toggles my lights on and off. The brake is now X on PS5, it will be A on Xbox. The thing that gets me with that is, you know, like, I have been playing SnowRunner since the day it released. I love SnowRunner. I think it's one of my favorite games of my entire life. Like, honestly, I love SnowRunner. It is such a good game. It's so good to just chill and relax and just waste a few hours playing that game. I could play that game for hours on end. I have played that game for hours on end. So it's annoying when they've now changed all the controls around and don't give you the option. There's no like legacy controls. There's no ability to change the control scheme in any way, shape or form. You can like swap out the triggers, so you know, instead of accelerating with R2 you're accelerating with L2 if you're weird. But yeah, it's very much kind of like just annoys me that you can't change them back. Like the entire options when it comes to controls are pretty much this: swap L1 and R1, swap L1 and L2, swap that's it, and then the layout is there, and you cannot adjust this. It has an option to restore the default, but yet there's only one scheme, so how, yeah, like, what's the point in giving you the option to restore a default scheme when there's only one scheme? It makes no sense. So hopefully in the future there will be the ability to either have different schemes, which, like, and one of them will be a legacy scheme, or they will just let you change the buttons around in general. One other thing that I will note, in the HUD, you can turn off all the HUD options here, but to be fair, it doesn't do that much. You can see, like, my HUD is still up. I loved playing SnowRunner with no HUD, just the vehicle on the screen, no fuel gauge, no anything, and it was just it's just so good playing it like that. But no option to play it like that. Even when you turn off everything in the HUD, it's just, you know, objective markers, the crane legend, so like the controls for the crane, and the zone markers. That's pretty much it. So those are two things that really are irritating me, because it's things that I am so used to with SnowRunner that this game does completely differently, and it's kind of, I'm not used to it. So that's a few things straight off the bat. The good stuff, I mean, the game looks great aside from some technical issues. The only issue I'm really having that is really getting on my nerves is that the terrain seems to have a lot of issues with the textures. Less on this map. This is the Carpathians map. I will switch out to a different map in a little while and show you once I've completed this mission. But this map seems to be relatively fine. But the Arizona map, the textures on the ground just seem to not want to work ever. It just gets really annoying, and it's not like, you know, just pop in at a distance and stuff. Like, you can be sat in the same spot for like 20 minutes and the textures will never load up on the ground, which is really annoying. I mean, I'm playing on PS5, and this is not an issue with just the PS5. I'm in the Discord group. It is happening to people on PC, people on Xbox. It doesn't seem to matter how good your PC is as well. Like, there are people who are saying, you know, they've got, you know, beasts of machines and it's still doing the exact same thing. So that's something that needs to be rectified as soon as possible, really. I mean, the game is fully playable, but when you're kind of like driving around, I mean, I'm trying to get through the game, and although yes, I can play everything, even with, you know, some textures missing, I want to be able to enjoy the game to its fullest as I'm progressing through it. And if I'm just getting empty, barren landscapes because none of the textures have popped in, then it just gets a bit disappointing. This is the other thing that I really don't like about this game. Like, here I've got to scan 100% of this area, and it doesn't really tell me where I need to be going or anything. Like, I can see, you know, I've got my map, so I essentially need to, okay, so here we go. So it's going to be this way here. So if I put another marker up there, I need to scan that area. There we go. So we're gonna we've got to scan up this way. So essentially I've just got to get this to 100%. Should be close now. Running out of signal though, that's the problem. Let's get a bit closer so we can move that drone further. Not going to be much closer, but it might do the job for that last 1%. Crash it into trees. So there we go. Alright, so I've got to install the monitoring systems around the other side of here. So I'm going to have to go underneath this. I tell you what, I cannot wait to climb up there and go across that gap. Let's drop that. Okay, just across there, because you could do that. That's the cool thing about this game. And this is what I was saying, like, there's things that this game does which is just awesome, and I don't know how much of it is based in reality, but actually I might not be able to get across here. There's something I can build here. I've seen people online, so I have 50 spare parts. I'm going to deliver the 50 spare parts I have, because once I've delivered 75 I can clear this route. I might be able to... Is there a way to bypass it right now? probably, but it might be a bit awkward, so I'll try and just go around. Let's turn my four-wheel drive off, save a bit of fuel. So there's a few things this game does vastly differently to SnowRunner. I don't know why I tried to mow that tree down. I could tell it was too big. There's a few things this game does differently. So firstly, like you can free roam on the map and take on like side missions, but the main story quests, the expeditions themselves, you take on from the main menu and then go into the map. Now there are two main areas. There is the Grand Canyon, Arizona area, and there is the Carpathians. Now, in each of these locations, there are 4 maps. There's the main map where you start, and then you can travel to other maps. Hello, Big Dog. It has been a while. So, it's laid out a little differently. What am I still? Oh, I'm still attached to that. That's fine. So it's laid out a little differently to SnowRunner, and I genuinely hated it at first. I thought this is just not going to gel with me. I like the idea of the evolving maps on SnowRunner. You know, you go onto the map, you take on some quests, you build a bridge, then you can use that bridge when doing other quests. And I thought, this is not going to work on this, but it actually does. It actually works exactly the same. It's just that you, instead of, you know, driving around and taking on main missions from people on the map, you just choose them from the menu. So it's kind of less, it feels, it just feels a little cheap, but at the same time it works perfectly fine. I mean, essentially the only difference is that you don't have to drive across the map to pick up main missions. You literally can just select a main mission at any time once it's unlocked, and then you go onto the map, and then after you've completed a few missions you unlock free roam. So this is my last mission in this area before I unlock free roam in the Carpathians. I've already unlocked it in the Grand Canyon map. Another thing that I hate, now in SnowRunner I always hated driving at night. Like, I don't know why, like I just find, you know, when it's dull out, like early morning, late afternoon, midnight, like all night time basically, I just don't like it. And you'd have a timer on and you could skip time. Now in this I can skip time, but I've got to press L3, but it didn't tell me what time I've skipped to. So then when you drop out, so right now it's clearly late afternoon, early evening. So then I go in, skip again, it's night time. But it'd be nice to have some details about what time it is while I'm in the map, like you do on SnowRunner. It's just a small issue, it's not a big deal. I mean, if you clearly know, you know, if it's daytime now, like it's clearly like midday in the game. So when it starts getting dark, it's going to be late afternoon, early evening. So you know how many times you have to press skip time in order to get to morning or to get to daytime again the next day. It's not rocket science. It's just so I could have like a general idea of, okay, is it actually late afternoon or is it early evening? Because if I press too many times, I'm gonna have to go back in and go and skip again, and just be nice to have a general idea of what time it is. But maps are great, like the design of the maps, and this is the thing that I really love about this game as opposed to SnowRunner. It seems like they've really worked hard to make this game feel like you are in the wilderness. Like with SnowRunner, there's a lot of areas that feel like, you know, there's already tracks, you know, people have clearly been through there. There's clearly like a set path. With this, it's very rare. Like, I am literally just going through what seems like I'm instead of having a straight line to an objective, I'm having to go around the objective and come back on myself because it's the only viable path, and it just feels so much more natural than, you know, just kind of having, yes, like a few trees, but like you can cut through those trees and there you are, you're at your objective. This definitely feels like the areas are more wild. The one thing I don't like about this, and it's my opinion, and other people may have a different opinion to me, obviously, but there's mini games, like, so you will have like a mini game where you're looking at something and then there's a bar going across the screen and you have to press a button at the right time, and if you don't, you have to start again. Like, I just don't know what place mini games like that have in a game like this. To me, it just kind of like feels like it just stops the momentum dead. Now, other people might like it, and it's not hard. Like this, right? So I've got to find all necessary underwater objects by putting scanning points down. So I put a scan point there and I've got a few. So then I've got to look around and try and find. So I'm assuming I've got to find fish. I'm just looking to see if I can see any more fish in here. I'm not really seeing any. So the idea is you place these down. There we go. So there's the other item. So you got to try and make sure that the scans you have pick up all of the items. So with the fish are moving, so you've got to place these scans down in the right spot. So you've got to monitor where the fish are going and place them down so that all of the fish at some point are within the circles. So they're just kind of like easy little mini games, and I don't know, like, I guess it's something extra aside from driving, but at the same time, for me, I don't really find them engaging. I just kind of find they derail my momentum, as I said. But I'm thinking I should be getting close to the end of this mission, so I can run through some of the other things then. 1, 2. Okay, so we gotta find necessary items. So there we go. Oh, there was just one there. Okay. And that's it, expedition completed. So now I get 13,000 sponsor payment. I also get some bonuses, and I have not picked up any items while on the map. So now that's it. We can continue if we want, but that would just be, you know, doing extra stuff on the map. It won't count towards any progress of missions or anything like that. So we're going to head back to the main menu, and here is the main menu. Well, this isn't the main menu. There is a main menu which we'll go to now, so you can see what the options are in this game. So you can continue my game. I got a new game. Mod browser is back up. That was down yesterday. Co-op is coming soon. DLC store is really irritating because I obviously own these. I do own the Cotco Canyon as well, but there's been an error with that, so nobody who bought so the only way to be playing the game now is if you have the year 1 edition or the like premium edition. For me, I didn't go for the premium edition because it's just a few skins for cars, but I wanted the year 1 because of the actual like proper DLC. But you get the Cotco Canyon with both of those, and for some reason it's not working for anyone. So we'll click continue and I'll show you the options in here. So you get a like training area, which is Little Colorado, and even though it says Little Colorado, it's quite a decent size area. It's just that it's one area. So I've only got 3 trucks. Like, I've kind of been doing everything with these. So when you start, you can see that we're going to get rid of that because I think that is... I don't know how I actually remove it. Oh, there we go, remove. Oh, remove. No. Anyway, who cares? I'll figure it out. It's I got a metal detector on my roof and I'm just trying to figure out how to... Okay, I'll swap it to the roof rack. There we go. Okay, so to recover this vehicle, it's 1,000. The problem I do have with this is it seems like the costs of most things in this game are so high. So we're going to deploy this vehicle. Here we go. So as you can see, this is the Little Colorado map, but I haven't been everywhere. This is just the training area, and it's quite a decent size map. So I've clicked on free roam, and then I can go to start expedition. But since it's such a small map, we'll leave that for now, and we'll go to Arizona. So here's where the main actual beef of the game starts. Now, these expeditions can take like half an hour to like 2 hours, maybe even longer in some of the harder ones. And so you've got the Grand Canyon, and there's 11 in the Grand Canyon, and I've completed like all the ones I can now. So the next one is in Waweep Bay, which is this No More Shaking one, which is a very hard one, and I will be honest, it is very hard. I struggled. I actually have tried to do this twice, and it's insane. Like, I think I need to buy a new truck and load up with a lot more fuel, because basically it is somewhere around the back end of this giant rock, like this giant mountain, and I am always running out of fuel before I get there, and I cannot figure out the exact point that I've got to go to. Basically, I have to run seismic tests, but it doesn't actually show you exactly where. You have like a countdown meter of like how close you are to the area, so you have to move in one direction, and then if the numbers come down, you go in the right direction. If they go up, it's like, are you hot or cold kind of thing. And I just keep struggling to find where it is. But the layout of the map, especially that Waweep Bay, is amazing. It really is. It's so well designed. I think I can't free roam in there at the minute. That's the problem. I haven't even been to this area. So we've got the desert area there, and we've also got this area here, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. And we've actually got a mission unlocked in that area. So you've got, in Arizona, you've got 4 maps, and these are not small maps, they are pretty huge. I will go into this one in free roam in a second just to show you. Then there's the Carpathians, and again you've got that first map, which is huge, and then you've got 3 other areas, which I'm not entirely sure how big they are. It might be that the main area is the biggest, this swamps is the biggest map, and then the others are smaller maps. I'm not sure, but and essentially this is how the game works. So you come into here, and if you want to do anything, like you want to drive around, create man-made bridges or place down pathways, there's loads of cool stuff you can do. So I'll get into that in 2 seconds actually. So you can come into free roam after you've done a few missions, and then you can go around and you can place pathways, and I'll show you what I mean about that in a minute. And you can make it a lot easier on yourself when you're doing these actual missions. the missions themselves, so you would just come into here and like, so these are lots, so you can see like to get amazing views you have to complete new areas. To do new areas you have to complete skeletal riches. So then skeletal riches isn't here, so that's probably, let's say, I assume that's going to be in the desert maybe. Nope. So then you would come through and you'll be able to see, so skeletal riches, you have to complete no more shaking, which is the one I'm on. So if I complete this one, I can do that one, and then I can go up and do the rest. So it's kind of, it makes sense. It's very similar to how it was in SnowRunner. Aside from SnowRunner, it was on the map, and you would sometimes like kind of either fast travel, or you would just travel to the area and pick up the task. I can't remember if you could just start it from the menu. It's been a little while since I played SnowRunner, but yeah, and essentially you complete these through here. Now that's just the expeditions. So again, when you come into free roam, so I'm going to pick my trusty little Don here, and so this is what I was talking about setting up maps, like routes. So you can come into here and there's light beacons, so you can collect a light beacon. It's completely free. You can put one in, you can put as many as you want in your truck storage. These things anchors, so they create my brain has gone. They create points which you can winch to, and you can place these up on top of a mountain and winch, like slowly, like winch your truck down the mountain, like off a cliff's edge. Like I've literally used them to go across like gaps, like crevices. You place one in front of you on the other side of the crevice, winch to it, and then kind of pull yourself slowly across. There's the jack screw, which basically if your vehicle tips up, you can use this and you get like a small circular area around where you tipped up, where you can place your truck back on its wheels. You've got spare fuel, you've got some spare parts to fix any broken parts of your car, vehicle, whatever. And spare wheels, one spare wheel for any that get wrecked. These all cost money, these white ones, but the yellow ones are all free. So some of these, like rangefinder, you can use that as it is to determine distances anyway. But a lot of these work, like this camcorder, that's really for missions. Camera traps, missions again. So these are all things that you can use in missions. But this light beacon, to be fair, I haven't used it, but I assume you can use that at any point. We're going to try it now. Like it says, it maps pathways. Another thing you can do is some missions require team members. Now you can just pick them in here. So like this guy, he gives me more fuel at outposts, more fuel, more repair parts at outposts. He adds extra distance to my binoculars, and it also allows me to mark uphills and downhills with my binoculars or drone, and each one has their own benefits. So this guy, if I have this guy in my team, I take minus 100 damage in water, well 100% less damage in water, and he marks any fords when I'm looking for the binoculars or the drone. And so there's like different things. Like this guy, he if I take this guy with me when I'm going out and I'm hunting for treasures, I get 50% extra price when selling them. So it's you know, depending on what you're doing. Like if I need money, I would obviously take this manager guy, pay 700, which isn't a lot for him, and then go around the map once I've already marked up and I know where all of the airdrops are and all the collectible things are, because they reset when you come onto the map, which is kind of cool. So it just allows you to like build up your money if you really want to. It could be, you could take advantage of it, but you know, it's up to you how much you want to, like how hard you want to make the game on yourself. Like this guy, extra supplies, 100% setup radius, 30% less damage except for the wheels. So it's all, they all have different abilities and they all cost different prices. But we're not going to have one of them now. We're going to just use this truck here. So this is the first big main map. In the Grand Canyon, Arizona area. And yeah, so if I bring out my drone, and you can kind of get a feel for the scale over here. Like, the map is a pretty good size, to be honest. Like, so if I quickly get up this, so this is where you exit to Waweep Bay, because I've already been there. So the top of the map is like here. So if I place a marker, I'm pressing the wrong button here. So if I place a marker there, and then that's like the bottom there. So the distance is, oh, that second marker isn't showing up anyway. And then you've got, you know, a huge area over here I haven't even got to yet. So the maps are not small in any way, shape, or form. They're quite big maps, and unlike, like I said, like unlike Snowrunner, you don't really have the ability to just kind of drive straight across them. Like, there is no like real beaten track to most of these. Wheat Bay, unfortunately, is the one which really made me feel that. There's like huge crevices that you can fall down, and like I was literally having to just go around in circles, just around huge rock faces and around big ass like holes in the ground, just to avoid falling into things and to get where I wanted. Now, it was like, we're talking about a few hundred meters that I had to go, and I probably went on like a kilometer trip around just to get there, because there was just no way to get to where I was going without falling down some deep hole. And I don't mean like this is a small hole in comparison to this like crevice here. So like, and this is the thing I was saying earlier. You see how the texture just dropped, like completely dropped, and it's just not loading in now. This, yeah, there we go. It's loaded in again. And this is the thing that is happening on every version of the game right now. It's just graphically everything looks great until that happens, and then, you know, everything still looks good. But right, let's see how these work. So okay, so these can't be used from the inventory, so I'm guessing those are once again specific to missions, unfortunately. So that was a mistake on my part, thinking that you could just place them down. I thought that would be a great idea, you know, just come in to free roam with your little scout car, drive around and place markers so you know which directions are safe and, you know, which way to go when you're actually in the mission. But apparently can't use them just straight out in your inventory, which means that they're probably specifically for missions. But again, like, you can be as risky as you want. So I'll put the brake on. So like, as you can see, like, if I wanted to get, I think that's down there, yeah. So if I wanted to get down there, I can go all the way around, and I can take the long route and find it. Like, there's a path down there, as you can see, all the way down there. Or if I wanted to save a bit of time, I could just put an anchor behind me and then slowly lower myself down there. And judging by the rocks, that probably would not go too well, but you could do it. if you wanted. So there's a lot of stuff that I really like about this game. There's a lot of tweaks that need to be made, but overall, you know, it feels like a Mudrunner game. It feels like SnowRunner. I won't say it feels like Mudrunner, because Mudrunner was kind of like, after Spin Tires, it was like the first iteration where they really started to get a feel for what they were doing. SnowRunner was amazing. SnowRunner is a great game. I buy every season of DLC. It's just so good. This, it feels like it needs a little bit of work just to bring it up to SnowRunner standards, which is kind of disappointing. I thought I could jump that, but apparently not. It is kind of I think I'm stuck. It is kind of disappointing that some aspects of this feel so far behind SnowRunner, or just not as good or well fleshed out as SnowRunner, considering, you know, SnowRunner is 4 or 5 years old at this point and this is new. Like, this should really be taking advantage of some of that stuff that has been in SnowRunner. But again, it feels like some of the key things that are in SnowRunner are not in this game. You know, you've got your co-op, which is not even in it yet. Like, and I know the game theoretically is not out until tomorrow. It's still, you know, this is the 70 or whatever hours early access, because I bought this like more fancy version. But yeah, the fact of like I said, like I'm a sucker for we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go pick up this airdrop. I'm a sucker for photo modes. I'm not gonna beat around the bush and say I'm not. I think when you've got a game that looks great, but sometimes it's just nice to just find like a really nice area, like with some good scenery, and take a nice picture. You know, this is why they put good-looking screenshots in their trailers and their advertisements, because sometimes a good-looking game sells, and people like to enjoy looking at good scenery. 1 second, need to sneeze. And it when you've spent a good amount of time making a game look good, you know, it'd be nice if you gave people the opportunity to appreciate it. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning now. Now, I'm not saying like every game needs a photo mode. I always appreciate a good photo mode, and clearly by the fact that there's so many games that include them now, you know, it's certainly not something that is not appreciated by a lot of people these days. Something that I just did though, something that is new in this is the tire pressure. You can increase or reduce the tire pressure. Well, I say increase, like really the normal tire pressure is standard, and then you can decrease it and increase it back up. You can't like really increase it, other than to like, if you've already decreased it is the idea. You can't like have like super extra tire pressure, not that I've found at least. So you've got like normal, and then you've got lowered a little, so we've got low tire pressure, reduced pressure, and then there's normal pressure. So normal pressure is great for just standard driving, but when you are climbing up rocks, if you reduce your tire pressure, it gives you more grip, but then you have to like put it back up again, because if you don't, when you're not climbing rocks, you will start to damage your tires. But yeah, overall, like it plays and it feels like SnowRunner. It has a few things that are different, and I guess I guess I can't really complain, because if everything was the same as SnowRunner, then you could argue, well, couldn't this just have been DLC for SnowRunner? And then couldn't they have just added some of these new gadgets to SnowRunner and just, you know, charged £20 for a pack of DLC for a game that already exists, as opposed to making an entire new game? And I guess that's a good reason why so many things have changed a little. We're gonna, how do I, we're gonna exchange these for these. Okay, so we've got these, so we can recycle the scrap metal, and the dinosaur bone we can sell to a museum. And I've got an anchor now that I've just picked up, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go sell these so I can at least make some of the money back that I've wasted. like the one thing you need to make sure is you need to make sure that you are prepped, because the how do I recycle that, and that's some extra spare parts that hopefully will stay there, I don't know. I'm going to sell that. Oh no, I don't want to sell the workshop. I can't even remember how I sell things now. Genuinely don't know how I sell things. Oh, there we go. So I have to sell it at the store here. So if we sell it, we get 1,000 for a dinosaur bone. There we go. So let's find a big cliff, and we'll see how this anchor works, and see how far it lets me go. This isn't a bad drop, but I feel like that one over there, there's an airdrop or something over there, so we're going to try and drop down there. Actually, that would be a bit pointless from there over there, because we only have one anchor, so I'll probably end up, I wonder if, yeah, it depends how far it goes, to be honest. Let's see. There's still another drop afterwards, and I can't actually get around there anyway. Okay, so we're going to do it here. But yeah, I am still learning some of the stuff, and it feels like some of the menus are a little convoluted, and some things are a bit clunky and not as streamlined as I think I would like them to be. But after, you know, a few more days with it, I've been playing a lot of other stuff as well. You know, Rebirth came out. I've been playing Rebirth. I've been going through Remake again before I start Rebirth. And then, you know, Persona 3 Reload. There's been a ton of stuff come out the last few weeks that I've picked up. Whoa, a bit too close to the edge, but we're good. Right, so now, before I accidentally slide down, we're going to get this anchor, and we are going to, maybe it's because I'm hanging off the edge. Not a good idea then, because we are see, I've got, is that differential lock that I've got on, or I don't know what it is, but I am not, there's nowhere to winch either, so I'm kind of not doing too well here. For some reason it's not showing me my anchor either, because I'm hanging off the cliff. Let's try putting the pressure down. Get a bit more grip. Okay, we're moving backwards. If I can just get that tyre to... There we go. Okay, we're back on. Right. Let's not dangle ourselves off a cliff again. I'm gonna change the time of day. There we go. Okay, so get the anchor. For some reason, For some reason, the anchor is not even showing up on my screen. For some reason, let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we'll go as close as we can to the edge and see if we can get this anchor to keep showing up. Right, we can't put it on this rock area, which I think is the issue. I can put it like, no, I can't. Okay, so I can't put it on the actual rock, but I can place it like there. So then if we, now I can just quickly winch to it with triangle, but I don't want to have the front winch on it. I want the back one, so we're going to select a winch point manually, and then there we go. So we can look, just drive off here now. Try and make sure it's centered. Okay, we'll drop this tire pressure again so we can get some traction. Okay, so right, we'll get some slack and then drive off, because otherwise I don't think we're going to I don't know how far this winch goes, to be honest. I probably can't even make it off here with the winch how it is. I don't think the winch actually gives you any slack. I think... Can we get off? Come on. Is that can't be the amount of... slack I get on this winch. I've got to be able to get more. Come on, rock the car. Maybe if we lower the tire pressure and then we bump it back up. It's just hanging off the edge. It doesn't seem to be working, but you kind of get the idea. And then you just lower yourself down. I think the main issue here is I've just got no traction on the tyres, and I don't think the winch, like, even though I'm pressing, what happens if I release it and then we start to wiggle? I wonder how quickly we can. We'll try that. Let's winch myself up. Okay, I'm gonna try something that, yeah, literally don't try this at home. Oh. Wasn't far enough off. We'll try that again. So the plan is to like half jump off the cliff and then winch to it. There we go. That worked. Now we can lower the car down. And we've just destroyed the suspension. Good thing is we can fix that with fix the suspension a little. That's it, that's all I can fix. Right, we can let the truck go down now. Nice and slow, otherwise we'll have to repeat. I think that is actually the furthest I can get this thing down. That is it. That is it. So I only have the small winch, like there is an extended winch. I don't think I have that on this car. So I'm not sure what's going to happen now, but we're going to release. Oh, uh-oh. Ah, okay. Right, well, we're on the wheels. Right, we're going to try and turn a bit. Might be able to jump down to there. Oh, no. Ah, boom. We're still going. Still going. There we go. That's how you climb down a cliff, apparently. Oh my life. I'm still going though. How much damage have I got? 52% to my engine, that's fine. We're still able to move. my dude's probably a little shaken up, but he's still alive. So let's count that as a win. So a longer winch cable, and that probably would not be too big of an issue. So we're going to go up here, we're going to collect these little bits, and then I think I'm going to call it a day. And go get on with a few bits that I need to get on with. Oh, so this is an upgrade location, so there we go. So I now own a new upgrade for something, or I don't know which truck it's for, but I've just collected a new upgrade. And let's see, so this is, so I mean, like this goes on all the way up there to the end. Like there's the exit gateway, so this, like, you can go all the way up here, and over there is part of the accessible map as well at the other end that I'm kind of looking at over in the east there. So there is a good amount of space on these maps, and like I was saying, unlike SnowRunner where there's a lot of, you know, areas that are clearly man-made, you know, you've got towns, you've got research equipment stations, and all of this stuff. This is very much like wild, untamed land, which I like. So again, I've really only seen 4 of the maps. I've seen the map where you have your training, that little whatever it's called map. I've seen this map, I've seen the next map over here that leads on from this one, and I've seen the first map of the Carpathians. So there's a good amount here. I don't 100% know what's coming in the season pass. I really hope there's 2 things I really hope when it comes with the DLC. One, new maps. I will take new maps with everything. It's like, when it comes to exploring maps, I don't know why, I just find it chill, like looking around, driving around, walking around, whatever the game is, just exploring the maps. Like, I just find it relaxing. So yeah, new maps. Couldn't care less about new cars and vehicles personally. They're not the kind of thing I enjoy, but I'll take them if they're there. I've already paid for the season pass, so you know, year 1 we'll see what comes. The other thing I want is new trophies. Now I know, like, trophies, achievements don't matter to a lot of people. When it comes to certain things, like, they don't really matter to me. I'll still buy a game no matter whether it's got a platinum or if it's got like trophies, or if I can complete the trophies. You know, like, everyone was kicking off about the Tomb Raider collection not having platinum trophies on the PS5 and having it on the PS4. I've got the PS4 and PS5 versions, yet I still play the PS5 ones. It's not about my trophy score or achievement score or whatever. It's not about that, but I like having something to work towards, and when you've got as many games as I have to get through, you know, it's like, it's nice to have games where you really enjoy them, like SnowRunner, like I'm enjoying this, where once you've completed, like right now, I complete the expeditions and that's it. Like, generally speaking, the achievements, trophies on this game are a bit boring. You know, it's basically just complete all the expeditions, and you'll probably get most of the other stuff as you're aiming to do them. But then there's a lot of other side content as well, and when there's not anything else to work towards other than, you know, your own gratification of I completed all the side missions, unless the side missions that add a ton of story, which they don't in this, I do find it helpful to have something like a trophy, like an achievement to work towards, to be like, right, I want to have this thing completed 100%. There's another trophy here, I'm going to get it. Like, it's for me, it's kind of nice. It adds that element of working towards something. And again, it's the same with other games, like open-ended games, where there's not really a lot to do. It's kind of down to you and what you put into it. But at the same time, it's nice to have that kind of sense of direction. Okay, right, yes, I can do whatever I want. There's no issue there. There's nothing to stop me from going here and doing this and going here and doing this. But then, there's no real need to. So when you add a trophy or an achievement for that, it's like, okay, right, here we go. Well, I can put a bit of work in and I can go and I can get that, and I've done it. It's done. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like an extra goal for once you've completed everything else that you want to do. There's some games you want to lock all the outfits, and that's fun, and people enjoy doing that. And then it's the same thing, but instead of an outfit in the game, it's a little trophy on your account to say, hey, I completed all of this stuff. And I guess like when I get DLC that doesn't have it, I kind of just feel like, I don't feel as compelled to play the DLC as I do with when there's no trophy or achievement, as I do when there is. Like, I'll play it, I'll enjoy it, but yeah, it just kind of feels more like, yes, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not really working towards anything other than just kind of enjoying it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that extra sense of accomplishment or working towards something, or having that sense of direction, really, I really like that. So that's why I'm hoping that the DLC packs have trophies or achievements with them, because I've already bought the season pass, I've already bought year one pass, I've already bought all the season passes for SnowRunner, and that's never had any extra achievements or trophies added to it. But again, like, I'll play them for a little bit. I'm not really feeling compelled to just keep grinding towards them, because I've got so many other things, and when I've got so many other games, it's kind of like, well, I can come back to this at any point. Whereas with these trophies or these achievements, I kind of feel like, okay, maybe just a little longer, like, let's get this done, let's get that done, and I'd probably have played a bit more. So that's one thing I'm hoping for. Give me some new trophies for the DLC. But anyway, we'll see. But that is essentially it. Is my guy asleep? Yeah, he was asleep. The dude was asleep. Like, because I was sitting here, the dude fell asleep. I've got to see this, like, close up. He's looking at me. He's like, what's going on? Come on, let's go. Don't look at me, buddy. Is he actually looking at me? If I turn this, he's looking at me. He's like, come on, I want to go. Let's go. I like it. That's pretty cool. He's like, come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, I'm waiting. Come on. Okay, this is cool. I like this. He's getting impatient. I want to see him fall asleep again. While we're waiting for him to fall asleep, I'll go through everything really quick. Like I said, so the structure is a little different to SnowRunner, as I said. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it. It feels not as fun, but there we go, he's asleep. It feels not as fun, but at the same time, it's it works. So, the engine's gone off now as well. Oh, I like it. But yeah, I mean, gameplay wise, as I've said, it's very, very similar to SnowRunner. Few changes here and there, new tools to use, but yeah, it just feels like small, pockets of SnowRunner fun, just without the big vast map where you can have all of your trucks on and you've got your garage and you've got all of this stuff. It's very much, these small little campsites where you can kind of do everything, but there's more emphasis on, you get in, you do one quick run, you complete a mission, that's it, you leave, and then you can do another one. So it's just smaller pockets of the same kind of gameplay as you had in SnowRunner. So ultimately, I would definitely recommend it to anyone who likes SnowRunner. Is it as good as SnowRunner? There's some aspects that for me are better than SnowRunner. Like I said, like I very much enjoy the kind of untamed wilderness kind of like, can I go this way? Can I go that way? Like I've made mistakes. I've run out of fuel. The very first time I tried to do the mission that I'm on this map now, the next mission I need to do, the very first time I tried to do it, I ran out of fuel. I took a wrong turn and I got stuck and there was absolutely no way for me to go that way. And then I started heading back and I figured out the correct route to go. Because it's hard, you can't figure it out. You look and you see one route that looks really hard, and you see another route that looks easy, and you can't. Your drone doesn't see that far, so you go on the one route and you go, that looks like it takes me where I need to go, and it looks safer than the other route, so you take that route, and then once you get far enough down to the point where you couldn't see with the drone, you realize, crap, it's a dead end, or there's like a sheer cliff face that I would need to climb. And whilst getting back would be fine because you could drop down the cliff, getting there is impossible because without putting an anchor at the top of the cliff in the first place, you can't drive up the cliff. So yes, you could make a faster travel by maybe putting an anchor on the cliff later and then dropping down, and then when you come back you can maybe try and climb up the cliff using the anchor, but to get around there you got to go the other way first. So I like that aspect. It's that trial and error and working out if you can go this way or you can go that way, or you get stuck or you make a mistake. The issues that come with that are the items, the equipment that you need to get through those sections. If you tip up the jack screw, if you need to use the anchors themselves, they all cost quite a bit of money. And if you're constantly using them, and again, like then when you have to reset your car, if you're in the general vicinity of these whatever they're called, these outposts, it's cheap to recover your vehicle, like if you're close enough. But like if you're like, I've been like down here and it's cost like 4,000 to recover, and then I've already spent money on buying equipment that then if I've either used it, then I've lost it and I've lost that money, or if I haven't used it, then I get half of the money I paid for it back. So whilst you're not making a ton of money, you're also very easily hemorrhaging through it with nothing to show for it. So it is that kind of threat of, yikes, I need to make sure like I prepare, because if I don't prepare, as I haven't twice now on this one mission that I'm about to try again later, you will either run out of fuel or you will tip up and you will be stuck, and then you will have to reset, which either costs you money or resources, or you'll have to drop back completely and like forfeit the entire mission and start again fresh with more planning. So it is kind of cool in that aspect, and I do like that. I still liked the classic SnowRunner. You go on a map, you have a physical presence on the map, you can go around, you can pick up missions from areas, from the people or the spots where those missions take place, and it's not like just dropping on the map to do one mission. I think I definitely prefer that aspect of SnowRunner whereas I prefer the maps and the layouts and things on this one. So it is kind of like half and half with me. I think SnowRunner overall has the advantage because there's so much to do in SnowRunner. There's so much content now. But this is just starting out. It doesn't even come out till tomorrow officially for people buying the standard edition, and I hope it does well. I really do hope it does well, because the money that they're making off the game will hopefully go into making good DLC. Um, the DLC has been great on SnowRunner, so I'm hoping for similar quality content. Saber. I don't even know if it's the same team behind this as behind SnowRunner. I don't know if it's another part of Saber. I know I will not buy another game by Saber Porto, because I bought Dakar Desert Rally and that was just a farce. Nothing but just complete incompetence, lies. They started stating it was this huge open world. They sold the game on that point. It's a huge open world when it's not. It's just a bunch of maps, a bunch of small maps that that's not an open world. You stated it was one of the biggest open worlds. Well, no, if it's just a bunch of little maps that you have to go between loading screen, that's not an open world. You can't even go from one map to another with a loading screen. You have to drop out to the menu and select another area. And then all of the DLC content was meant to be out a year ago, and they didn't bother bringing any of that. It was just such a mess. It really was. I just don't get how there's such a vast difference between Saber, who made SnowRunner, and Saber Porto that made Dakar Desert Rally. It's just insane. So I don't know what team made this. I don't know if it's a SnowRunner team. It probably isn't. It's probably another subsidiary of Saber Interactive, and this is probably they probably had input from the SnowRunner team. Maybe that some of the SnowRunner devs worked on this, but not all of them. Who knows? But again, it feels like SnowRunner. It plays like SnowRunner for the most part. I can't fault it in that aspect. This definitely is a Mudrunner game at heart. It has a few differences. They've taken a few creative choices that I'm not 100% on board with, like the mini games and things like that. But at the same time, it's I'm happy with my purchase. I paid £65 for the year one edition. Definitely paid more for worse games before. Now that games are £70 standard most of the time. Will it keep me engaged? Yeah, probably. I'll probably complete this. I'll probably be playing this for a long time to come. Especially if they release trophies for the DLC, I will probably buy every DLC pack, as I've done with SnowRunner. I feel like this probably is not as engaging as SnowRunner. I like the dynamic maps in SnowRunner, so even without the trophies, there's still stuff to I still feel compelled to keep playing SnowRunner to some point. So this one, we will see how this one goes. But for now, I've rambled on long enough. I am going to call it a day and go get on with some work, and I will be back on this later on today. So thank you for watching, folks, and as always, I will see you next time.